Hi faves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this flaky, delicious mini meat pies. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to need is some flour. We're going to be using 500 grams for this. We're also going to be needing some butter. Yes, you want to make sure that your butter is cold. You're also going to be needing some cold water to combine all of this together. Then finally, you're going to need some salt. Salt is to balance out the taste. First, you add your flour to a bowl. Then you add your salt to this. You go in with your cold butter, not too cold but workable, but still cold though. Then you go in with your hands. You can choose to wear a mask if you please, but I'm going to be doing this with my hands. And you crumble that butter with the flour to get like a, how do I put it, a gari like texture. If you're not a Nigerian, you just want to get a texture that is like not I don't know how to describe it honestly, but yes, you crumble it with your hands and this is what you get. So once you get this, you're going to add your cold water to this and combine with your hands gradually. Yes, you're just going to use that to get the dough to stick together. You're going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing. Please endeavor not to overmix this. Keep this in a cling film and put this in your fridge while you make your filling. For the filling, I'm going to be using spring onions, and what you want to do is to chop it into little pieces like so. Then I'll proceed to my carrots. You want to grate that carrot. Yes, you grate it so that it is easy for usage. Then your potatoes, you want to peel that, and to make things easier, you can use a chopper or you can chop it with your hands, but no, I prefer to use a chopper for this because it gives me the precise size that I want. So this is my chopper. I got it from Shop with Velvety on IG. Yeah, that's my business page. Please patronize us and get this chopper from us. It's very easy. It makes your kitchen experience easier. I'll do the same thing for my onions. I would chop that and get that into tiny cubes that I like, and this is what I have. Now, I'm a Nigerian and we like pepper, so I'm going to be adding pepper to my meat pie filling. Please, I don't want to eat something that does not have pepper, so I'm just going to chop my peppers into small sizes, like so, very small pepper. I'm just going to chop it and I shall be using it for my meat pie fillings. Faves, I cannot come and eat something that is just no pepper. For what? Pepper is good for your esophagus. Now, so let's make the filling. I'm going to add my potatoes to a pot. I'll add some water to this and I'll cover and allow it to cook for some time. This is my minced meat. I am using about 250 grams to 300 grams. I'll leave the detailed descriptions in the description box. After my potato is soft, I'll go in with my onions. I'll go in with my minced beef. I'm doing the boiling method of making meat pie filling. You can use the frying method, but I prefer to use the boiling method because it just comes out really nice for me every time. Once the beef is soft enough, like this took a while, I'm going to add my pepper now and I'll give that a good mix before adding my shredded carrots. Yes, I'll combine the carrots thoroughly into all of that is happening in that pot, and I'm just going to keep mixing. Then I'll go in with some oil. I'll go in with a little bit of oil. I'll go in with my seasoning cubes And I will not be adding salt to this. You don't need to use salt for this recipe, faves. Don't add salt to this, okay? Just keep mixing and mixing and mixing. Now I'm going to add something that is called milk, which is just a combination of flour or cornstarch and a little bit of water. This is to thicken the sauce and make it combine. You can even add dry flour to this if you feel like your sauce is not thickened enough. So this is just basically to thicken up that sauce, no extra serere. Now I'm going to go in with my spring onions and I will also be mixing this together into all of that goodness. Then I will proceed with my sauce. My sauce is actually ready. I'm just going to put it in a bowl and set it aside to cool down before I'm ready to use it. It gets thicker as it gets colder, yes, so don't worry if it looks like as if it's runny. It gets thicker. The more it gets colder, the thicker it gets. So I'm just going to set my sauce aside. I will not be using all of this, so I will just leave that in my freezer until I am ready to use again. Now I'm preparing my egg wash. In a bowl, I'm going to crack open one egg and whisk all of that up. Once I whisk that up, I will set it aside. The next thing I'm going to do is to flour a surface. Yeah, I'm just going to flour the surface like so, and I'm going to cut some fraction of that dough that we saw the other time. I'm going to cut a bit of it and I will roll it out. I'm just going to roll this out like you can see me do. I'll roll out all the edges so that it is wide enough. Yeah, so you don't want to roll this out too thin. You want to have a thickness like this. You can see that. You want to have a thickness like this. I'll place my meat pie cutter and I'll just place the dough on it. The idea of using this meat pie cutter is to make sure that your dough is larger than the meat pie cutter. That's the only way it's going to form. I'm going to be adding my filling to this now. I'll use my brush to add some liquid, which is just water, on the edges to seal it so that when I close it, it's not going to open back. You understand? Okay, so now it is time for me to close my filling with my meat pie, and yes, I'm just going to use my hand to take out the excess pie, and this is what you have. My meat pie is ready. Some people use this thing called a filler. You roll out a small portion of the dough and you place it in the middle of your meat pie to seal the edges. Whichever one works for you, you can do that. Now I'm going to be applying my egg wash. Now I'm just going to gently rub that all over the pie, and when I am done, I shall be baking this. You want to ensure that your meat pies are really egg washed so that they do not just have this bland, dry look. Once that is done, I'll transfer my meat pie to my oven. You can use an oven, you can use an air fryer oven. Whichever one works for you. I'll transfer this and I'll be baking for 20 minutes at 180. So what I did was I baked with the lower heat function. I did not use the top heat function so that my meat pies not turn out too brown. And here you go, I'm going to allow it cool down a bit, and this is my meat pie. Very flaky, very delicious. Like, this is so tasty. You definitely need to try this out, faves. Will you?